day. I'm Epstein with your SPDR-ETF stock market update. And this update's coming out very early. I wish I could make this an everyday occurrence. I can't. But today was one of those days where I had the time, so I'm out quite early today. And it is Tuesday, the 15th of August, 2023. All right. I'm a little disturbed that I'm watching President Biden sitting on a beach as I'm watching the events unfold in Hawaii, and I don't know why my president's not there. Right? I know this is a commodity and a news report, but I got to get it off my chest. The days are filled with, hey, which month is Trump going to get another indictment? I mean, 4 out of 5 months, he's been indicted. Okay, it probably boosts him in the polls. But I am bothered, and I'd say the same thing about Trump as I'm saying about Biden. You have a national disaster, the worst fire ever in American history of this type, and our president didn't fly there. He's rather be on the beach. I have a problem with that, all right? I am not expecting him to hand out water and do all that, although it would be a great thing for him to do to get votes, all right? I think you'd agree with me on that. But where's the empathy? I mean, you hop on the plane, you go there, you're doing your work, you're supposed to be working anyways, and away you go. I do know how that plane works, and come on, all right. China. Spiral down. They deserve it. They're getting it. They run their economy different than everybody. And at the end of the day, they're a communist country, and they don't have the rights we do, and they do things different. And it's coming to roost, all right? American companies leaving, European companies. They're trying so hard now to get along with war, to get Europe to work out some war games and create alliances. They, of course, didn't invite the U.S., but as I told you, right now, there's just a tremendous anti-American feeling there and an anti-Chinese feeling from us there. I do not believe that the people of both nations have that. I think it's the government, all right? I live in a city where we got plenty of Chinese. I hear nothing about backlash in any manner. Not one story. I want to make clear. I read the New York Times and all. That's not what you're hearing. It's the governments. And we have to understand that we're all entitled to criticize the governments in free societies. I couldn't say this in China without probably being in problem. We saw the retailers do what? They did fine on sales because you guys are out there racking up your credit cards, buying like there's no tomorrow. You probably bought, and I did on Prime Day. I don't know if you did, but I love the piece I got. I got one of those cups that goes in my car that holds my phone perfectly. I got crazy cars, and I needed one because I'm forever driving, and I've got the world's worst sense of direction. And yes, I was a pilot. I am the world's worst sense of direction. And I need this to call out what I should be doing. I've lived here all my life. It's still amazing to me. My wife cracks up all the time, but it is true. But you bought, the kids going back to school, that's all the good things. But what do we do after that? I guess we wait for the early sales for Christmas, and they will be coming. My wife and I already saw some stores bringing out Christmas things, decorations. It's August. I can't believe how early this is happening. You have a lot of red behind me. Certainly COPX. If China's weak, they're half the world's copper. You don't need as much, right? Cars, they're in trouble. GM, Fisker, others, Tesla. Tesla came out with a new car now, not a new model, but their top end, you can get smaller battery packs, which makes sense. Not all of us are going to drive between charges more than 300 miles. So you plug in when you get home. Is it a big deal? You save $10,000. Not a bad play. But the problem is that it's, again, cars have finally become a commodity. You do understand that. Electric cars, and Tesla's making it a commodity. This reminds me when we all got those big screen TVs. Boy, I was the first guy in the block. I had a 42-inch, then a 50, then a 65. Well, now they're a commodity. I can go over to my local Costco and get for $600, $500 a pretty nice TV. No, it's not going to be the one that you're going to tell me has got the newest bells and whistles, and it's going to be perfect. To my eye, it's just fine. All right, that's just the way that it works. It's 65, 70 inches, and they're going to go even bigger than that. But it was everywhere that you're going. Netflix down $4 on the day. Fisker was up a little bit. AMC, I was listening today to a great interview on the debt and the load of AMC and somebody that is quite bullish all of their debt and so on. And I get the story. And they pointed out something that I didn't understand. Forget they're going to go to a 2 or 3 to 1 reverse stock split. He thinks they'll go 10 to 1. So you're going to take a company stock that might be today $3 and change, and you're going to take it up to $30 and change. That makes sense. And then they're going to float even more debt. Now, at those prices, $40 a share or so, they can probably do $5, $8, $9 billion of debt. They won't. They'll probably do $1 billion, but who's going to buy it? You'll get a good number if they can stay in business. And if we can get through things, there's always a need for a movie theater. I think you agree. I don't want them to go broke. You've heard me say that. I just don't believe in the current model. But I have something that I want you to write AMC about. Get a movie that's over 2 hours, which are most. Have a break in it. Yeah. 15-minute break. Go to the bathroom, go to the candy counter, buy your candy. They'll make more money. You're going to feel better. Did you sit through Oppenheimer? It's not easy. 3-hour movie. All right, you want to go to the bathroom. You're scared that you're going to miss something. Give us a break. We will buy. We will reward you. So what are you going to push back? I owned a movie theater, so I know. What are you going to push back all the schedules? 20 minutes, but that's about it. 15. Same time to clean the theater and do it. People will love it. Find a way to do that. Okay. Target reports tomorrow. So this is the big thing. It's already down to the lows. So I don't know how much lower it will go. When we say they're discounting already a bad event, they've discounted a bad event, down another 4%. The trend is lower highs, lower lows. The market has been under the 18-day average. Do you not disagree that that has been your pivot number? That's why I use that 18-day average so often. Now, first time we've stepped out of the Bollinger Band and on the bottom, the very bottom of the range. If you're lower tomorrow and on the bottom of the range with a lower close, that could be a breakout. Got to see if that does it. It takes 2 of these days. So often you'll do these. I'm looking to see if we can find them now. Here's ones that happen the other way. There's your breakout, and you'll often go into that leak. You'll see plenty where you get that one day and you snap back. Don't fall into that trap. We'll see what it does. We are oversold, not embedded. So it is ripe for anything, all right? And we've all got our fingers crossed. How good or how bad is it going to be? I certainly don't want it to be terribly bad. You got Walmart reporting. Home Depot got not rewarded. And I thought their numbers were okay, but their forward guidance isn't super strong. And that becomes a problem for all of us. So got to see what this retailing is going to do. Rivian, I thought, remember I said early on, maybe we're going to make a run back for this 200-day average. It appears that whether it does or not, the thought process was correct. No, I am not super bearish, but it's not a $28, $29 stock. Please understand that. It is a stock that you got to get back down into this range. You are oversold. You could embed over time. Certainly not looking to sell it right here. Embed on rallies, I'd get interested. Without it, no. I think between here and 1969 is important support. In the gasoline fund, now be careful with the gasoline. You've got some refineries that are out in the United States, and that starts tightening things up. This is a little earlier than normal, too. We have the Memorial Day holiday coming up. That's a driving holiday that doesn't get the type of drive that you normally do at the beginning of summer through July 4th. Not the way that it works. But it could give you a surprise. There's a strong seasonal in gasoline to the upside that lasts only 8 days, but it is right around the corner here, okay? I write about it in tonight's market report. And by the way, if you don't get my full research, I'd want to give it to you. That includes my twice daily written updates, my access to my morning ETF and futures market subscriber videos, all for 2 weeks. Don't want a credit card, don't want any of that. If you're interested in getting it, you can either call my staff. You can go to our website under free offers. You can move up anytime here, move your cursor there, and away you go. I write 2 market letters a day, Monday through Thursday minimum, 1 Friday morning, 1 Sunday night, because futures open. You want the trading ideas. And then on the weekend, I reverse things and I do weekly charts and put a few daily charts to back up what I'm seeing in there, giving you longer term. And yes, longer term buy here. Sometimes you're in these very long time, those trades. The daily ones, by their nature, you're more or less a trader in those, but the weekly charts offer you much longer positions. What do you got to lose? Nothing. So call Epstein.com if you want free offers or move up there. Okay, so let's go with everything that we've got. That, by the way, is how the charts look. They're not white, they're black, and they have a lot more detail on them in terms of window envelopes and other things I don't show here to the general public. So this is going to be a crucial time now in the market. We'll see if the market wants to pick itself up and move the way I think it's going to. In XLF, the financial services rates are just so high, they're wearing on the market. You're oversold. Here too, just like in Rivian, I'm thinking 3408 is going to be an important number. It's the first retest, if you get there, of the 200-day average, and we haven't been there since the beginning of July. So that makes a bit of sense. No, I'm not bullish. This could be a support zone. There's nothing bullish on this chart except it's oversold. That's it. When you come to the industrial sector, again, I'm never going to understand this whole move. You did see the New York Fed Empire readings come out. Did you see them? Let me spell how they are. D-I-S-A-S-T-E-R. Disaster. Not your sister. Disaster. There is no manufacturing. It's just getting crushed there right now, as it is in other spots, all right? People are doing whatever they're doing, but the manufacturing sector getting hurt. You see COPX getting hurt. There's reasons for all this. NVIDIA. So we saw today the banks come out, a couple of them, I won't mention them, and give a target of the $550 mark. Whoa, that sent this stock up at one point to 452.68. You tell me where the 18-day average is. How often do you hear me tell you, markets, when they get over, they like to come back and test that. When they get under, they like to come back and test it. What's going to happen in this stock as a technician is if you take out today's lows, the bears show up with stops over today's highs, looking to see if this was just a blip in the pan. That's what I expect to happen. Doesn't mean I'll be right. Doesn't mean they'll be right either. In Coinbase, okay, I find this just fascinating. Binance sued the SEC today for harassment. Okay, I've seen this before. I saw it whenever you take over, not you, whenever the government takes over penny stocks, the commodity markets in the 60s and 70s, crypto today, I've lived through all this. The pattern is the firms fight. Those firms go bye-bye. You can't beat the federal government's money, number one. Number two, the people you're fighting don't want to be in the government. They want to make a name for themselves to go into private practice, and they are going to be the best of tigers they can be. You're going to be paying $500, $1,000 an hour. I know you think I'm crazy when I'm using those numbers. I'm not. Those are going to be the kind of lawyer fee hours that are going to build hours. You heard what I just said, and there's going to be thousands of them to fight them. It's better to figure out how do you get this behind you and get under the compliance and operate within the rules. I am taking you from A to Z just now in 15, 20 seconds. You want to duke it out. Sorry, it won't work. You will lose. I don't care if you get them to stop harassing. I've yet to see that. That would be a win for you, okay? And I did see the what you went for. I read the thing. I just started laughing because I've seen this all my life. And thank God I was never part of it. And if I had been, I'd have done just what I told you. How do I get out of this mess? Because you learn from this, all right? And they are going to control, the government in the United States is going to control crypto. It is going to be a security. Maybe there'll be a little avenue that isn't. It's not how it's going to work, okay? It's going to be controlled. I don't know that that's bad. You trade stocks every day. They are fully controlled, fully. Penny stocks, they came under control. Commodity futures, beyond control. Okay, I'm just pointing out the inevitable. In XHB, okay, so Buffett's a big buyer. Yeah, Warren Buffett, a monster buyer. Mortgages today, 7.26 on a 30-year fixed, and people are still applying for them. So those that don't have a home want to get it. The question is it a Toll Brothers or is it the lower priced builders that you want to own? That's the question. You do see the sideways action. This is something that I teach to stay away from, not bullish or bearish. This is where the churn happens for the next move, whatever that's going to be, all right? Let the move be and come about. I don't need to be the first guy on the block that's wrong. In XLE, the energy, what did you just do? You lost the bullish embedded reading. So I think the pros got out. A minimum objective, I think now, will be wherever the 18-day average and price come together. If it falls very much, you might want to go back to these numbers. So be a bit cautious. That was not a good sign. And in gold, I got down to the number that if you were sitting next to me, you get that elbow that I like to throw out like that and go, why aren't you covering shorts? You're down to the 200-day average. When's the last time you were there? You want to be a hero and fight a one-year average and think it's just going to keep plunging. I know you do. You can't wait to do it. It's not the high probability play. That doesn't mean you won't be right. It's not the high probability play. This is the spot where I think pros come out. You have an embedded reading, get a good rally, hit it again, but take money off the table. I don't care how much you take off. I don't care if you keep part of the position since you're embedded, but some's got to come off. Same in the silver. You have an embedded reading. I'd love to see it get down here. This market's still acting, to me, bearish and saying on rallies, sell this, sell gold, get rallies. I teach this in the enhanced Bollinger Band course on our website, epstein.com, under education. Not so in copper. Oversold market, not embedded. Also, under the 200-day average in the Bollinger Band. Pretty amazing. It didn't even care about the 200-day average. But you had that same pattern of attempts back here, and you came back at you. So is that going to happen here? I'm always wary of it. Again, it's not as easy as you think to crack a 200-day average when you haven't been there in a long time. In TLT, I told you I'm bearish. I don't see where the interest rate play ends yet. The market is doing the job for the Fed. It's making each day that goes by put into question, will the Fed have to do anything come September 20th? Because we're at the 15th of August. A lot of economic data is being collected right now. It'll weaken, it'll strengthen. We're going to get CPI, PPI reports again, job reports, and these higher rates are weighing on the economy, as is time. Because what is starting to happen is you're not hiring any longer for outdoor help to work at your restaurants in the Midwest, as an example. You're thinking, okay, I've got to get down to slower staff because as the kids go away, as people go back to the cities for school, for work and school, whatever I've got changes, and that's typical. So just be ready how this all works. And then we'll get into the seasonal. I got to hire people for the Christmas holidays. So there's events that happen. Understand them. But this is where you start letting people go. Your outside help, you start cutting down the tourism, drops off in the big cities, things of that nature. Chicago is a phenomenal tourist city. If you walk downtown, I got to tell you, I'm proud of it. As much crime as we have, which chokes me, the city looks gorgeous and tourism is back. Unbelievable. The restaurants are packed, the streets are crowded. It's beautiful. All right. And as you can see in the marketplace here, we're trying to embed, be careful with that dollar. Up at key resistance, the upper Bollinger Bands embedded. Breaks probably getting bought, but there's a way to do that. I teach that in the enhanced course. And on FXC, will you make it to the lower band? You're oversold. You don't have to. The odds favor it, but we'll see what that market wants to do. So you put it together. You come up with these ideas, and it becomes an interesting time to trade. Remember to move your cursor up here to get onto my free offerings on my Epstein. See you tomorrow.